By the way, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see just how much your premiums are rising state by state as you look at the Obamacare exchanges and the cost to you. This study comes to us courtesy of the Heritage Foundation. Here with reaction, Democratic strategist Steve McMahon, radio talk show host Dana Loesch is back with us. All right, Steve, pick any company, Apple, any company. They spend $634 million, have 3 years to put together a rollout, and it's, to quote Robert, excruciatingly embarrassing and bungled badly. Wouldn't you fire the person responsible? Isn't that what most companies would do?
Well, somebody certainly would be held accountable. Absolutely, Sean. I think Robert Gibbs stated it well. You have 3 years to plan it. You spend a lot of money doing it, and the architecture has a problem. Now, I don't think Kathleen Sebelius is the person who designed the architecture. I think, frankly, it was a government bureaucrat somewhere, and they should be held accountable. And you know, the accountability should go up perhaps as far as whoever was managing those people. But Kathleen, well, because she manages a department, Sean, that's huge. Maybe it should be her. I'm not here to judge. All I'm here to say is this rollout didn't go as it was planned, and somebody should be held accountable. Yeah,
only government, Dana, can screw it up this bad. You can't even make this up. It's so awful.
No, and it gets even worse, Sean. The Weekly Standard reported today that not only was this was outsourced to a Canadian IT firm. You know, you could have had a United States firm just, you know, kind of do it half effort and come out with the same results. But now what the Weekly Standard reported was that they discovered that the code was actually just open source code, and now there could be a suit filed against HHS because they stripped out the copyright from this code. You're supposed to give courtesy when you use open source software like that. They stripped out the copyright. That's the exchange for it. So now HHS is going to be in trouble. Now, if there's a lawsuit against Health and Human Services, Sean, who's going to be footing the bill for that? Taxpayers? Who's going to be footing the bill to correct all of the glitches
the bill for the $24 billion of shutdown money? Who's footing the bill for the $24 billion that the shutdown's over. Cost the GDP?
Steve,
I know we're not.
I got a question. Yeah. At the bottom of our screen,
that's a nice goalpost move. But
at the bottom of our screen, we have up the cost, the additional premium percentage increase in cost. The president, 45 out of 50 states, you know, going up as high as 250%. The sticker shock is staggering for Americans. Tell me why, now that it is so different than the $2,500 savings that the president promised, why shouldn't we put this off a year and see if America really wants it and really debate it now that the facts are so different than the way he sold it?
Well, I think the reason that, look, if the Republicans want to relitigate again Obamacare, the Democrats are actually saying bring it on. You've lost 9 points in the generic vote.
Steve, the president wouldn't talk about it. I'm asking, look at these increases. Oklahoma,
Sean,
if you're 27 years old, 57% increase in your premium.
I went on, Sean, I went on the other day, and I actually did this for myself. The premium for a 27-year-old who I was sitting next to as we did this was $250 a month. It was a high deductible, but it gets people in, and there's no question that if you're young, you're going to pay a little bit more. But if you're older and you have a pre-existing, Sean, but if you're older and you have a pre-existing condition, you're going to be able to get insurance. And if you're a woman, you're not going to be able to be discriminated against.
Steve,
and if you're a kid up to 26, you can stay on your parents' policy.
Steve, you give me all the talking points that they gave you. I'll throw this to Dana.
I'm giving you all the facts.
No, the facts are on the bottom of the screen. Dana, 45 out of 50 states. People, enrollees 27 years old and 50 years old, they're paying dramatically more, and they're not saving any money like the president promised. None of them are.
Exactly. Exactly, and it's a one-size-fit-all. Regardless of what your health insurance needs are, you're going to get this and you're going to like it. The biggest get for me in all of this is that the millennials, that younger generation, is being royally screwed over all of this. I don't know anybody who's in their 20s that has a couple grand lying around to just spend on health care insurance the way that Obamacare is mandating that these individuals. Of course, they need them to make this program solvent. It's the biggest bait and switch I've ever seen, aside from Social Security, that Obamacare is carrying out here over the younger generation. And in St. Louis, Sean, in my city alone, because of Obamacare, we have a ton of people who have Blue Cross Blue Shield in St. Louis. They're being the hospital, BJC, a big health system here. All the best hospitals, the cancer center, they're now not able to go to those hospitals because they're not in the Obamacare exchanges. So people who are getting cancer treatment in the city of St. Louis, they don't have access to Siteman Cancer Center. That is completely opposite of what the president was promising during the campaign.
Hold on a second.
It is absolutely true. This is the city in which I live. No, it is absolutely true.
One of the first questions. Have you been to the website? One of the first questions is,
I live in St. Louis, and I'm quoting BJC spokesman who had a press conference and stated it.
You must have the internet in
Excuse
St.
me.
Louis. You can go on,
Do
right?
you pay attention to what's happening in
Healthcare.gov.
news in my city? Why don't you
And
go
the
and
first
look? Why
question-
don't you go and look at what BJC spokesman said?
The
Go
first
look at what the
question
BJC
is,
spokesman said.
do you
Are
want to
calling
keep your
him a
doctor
liar?
and the hospital that you go to?
I can't
What
even
I'm saying
log
is,
onto the website. It doesn't work.
go
It doesn't
on the
work.
website.
People
98
can't
million
even get
people
to it.
could.
Go on a
98
website
million
that
people
doesn't
could.
work.
Can't you?
Hey,
98
Is that
million
why,
people.
Steve, stop a
is that
second.
why
Wait a
less than,
minute.
is that why less
Steve,
than 55,000
most people
actually
can't get on the
completed
website. They can't get
Sean,
on. That's the
I
problem.
went on
We've tried
yesterday.
on this.
Register.
They can't get
What
I
are
on.
went on yesterday. Sean, just log on right now. Go ahead.
I'll log
all the
on-
viewers,
I'll
all
log
the
on
viewers out
tomorrow
there,
night.
log on right now.
We've logged on three
Log on.
times on the air. We can't get in. Three
Sean,
times.
I logged on yesterday in 2
CBS
minutes.
My
News tried
friend
it this
Kelly in
morning. They couldn't get
Colorado,
on.
A week. Yeah.
Listen, guys.
It doesn't. The bottom line
No,
is
you're
that
living
in
in a
St.
fantasy.
Louis, that it,
No,
BJC,
Sean, I'm not going to
BJC
sit here and
isn't
tell you it's
participating.
working perfectly. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and say that nobody should be held accountable. But what I will say is, if you have cancer and you want to go to a cancer facility, you can now get insurance, and you couldn't
You can't
before
in St.
because
Louis.
it was a pre-existing condition. Yes, you can.
Look at the
Yes, you
rate
can.
for
No, you
look at the
can't.
rate for a
They're not- if you
50-year-old
have
in
Blue Cross
Texas
Blue
up
Shield, you can't.
92%, Steve. I'm going to send you these. You need to look at the
Please,
reality
okay,
and forget
I
the
will-
talking points, because it's the
Sean,
reality
they're not
is.
talking points.
All right, we'll see.
I was on
thank
the
you both.
website yesterday. Okay, thank you.
Apparently, you're the only guy that got through. Congratulations, you're it.
He gets paid to. He gets paid to
And
say
coming up
that.
next.